Well, hello everyone. This is a video that I have put together of the Innova 3011 series. Now, I'm going to discuss just the basics of the device so that you can understand it better. I know that, a lot of things that we see on the screen can be a little daunting and maybe intimidating. So what I'm going to do is pretty much break it down for you so you can kind of better understand it. And what I don't cover in this video, please, if you have any questions, you can refer back to the manual. It would also let you know what you're looking at. So if you find this video to be helpful, please hit the like button and share this content with your family and friends. And if you're new to my channel and have not been here before, feel free to also subscribe. So let's talk about the first thing we see here. This is the erase button here. Now this pretty much resets the monitor status. So this will also clear the code on your vehicle's computer. So my recommendation is do not erase anything until after you get your car looked at and get the problem fixed. Now, once your problem is fixed, if your light still comes on, you can actually shut that off by erasing everything. But again, I don't recommend doing that until after your vehicle is fixed. All right, so the gray button right next to that is the DTC button, or diagnostic trouble codes. We'll call it DTC for now, for short. If you have more than one code on your device, basically what you could do with this button is scroll down and look at the other codes. This is actually a real code, by the way. To look for this code and find out what it means, I'm going to go to Innova.com. Now, I do have a video. I'm not going to go over it too much, but I do have a separate video that if you want to watch, I'll place the link up here. Just click it. All right, so let's talk about the lights here for a moment. I like to refer to this as my traffic light, red, yellow, and green. All right, so let's talk about the green light first. So if you hook up your device to your vehicle and you get a green light, a solid green light, that pretty much is telling you that the engine systems are running okay. Everything is normal. Don't worry about it. Now, if you get a yellow light, and sometimes you'll get a flashing yellow light, you may get a solid yellow light. This basically is just letting you know that you have a possible problem. So that's kind of like, okay, I have a check engine light that's coming on. I'm plugging in my unit, but I'm getting a yellow, and it's telling me I may have a possible problem. So your possible problem pretty much can be anywhere in your car. So as long as it has a sensor in it. So that's something you're going to have to pretty much investigate. If you keep getting in the yellow, you may want to take your vehicle to the mechanics and find out, what's going on. Now, unlike the yellow flashing, that can give you a possible problem. If you get a solid red light, that means you do have an issue. You may have an issue in one area, you may have an issue in multiple areas, but most of the time it's going to be in one area. You'll get that code here, and it'll let you know what that is. So let's now talk about the LCD display, the entire area right here. But now you see all these things on here like I got, and you're like, okay, what does this mean? We'll start with the monitor icons right here. Now, basically, you'll see a lot of this and it can be intimidating, but it's just letting you know which monitors are supported by the vehicle that's under test. And there can be a maximum of 15 monitors on an OBD system. However, not all vehicles support all 15 monitors. All right, so if you look over here, you have two little arrow icons going back and forth, facing each other. So you want to make sure that this is visible because it's letting you know that the code reader is communicating with the vehicle's computer. Now, if the link icon is not visible, then that means that the code reader is not communicating with the computer of your vehicle. So just make sure that when you plug it in, that is on. All right. So the icon next to it is a vehicle. All right. So the vehicle icon basically lets you know whether or not the reader is being properly powered through the vehicle's data. So that little cable that you have that's coming out of this unit, you want to make sure that, when you plug it in, this is on. This basically, if it's not on, that means your connector for some reason is not working. So let's talk about the mill icon here. Basically, all it's showing is the status of the malfunction indicator lamp. You have that on your dashboard, and it's basically showing that it is a situation that's taken place. Now, if you notice here, it says freeze frame. Now, this icon is letting you know that the data has been stored in the vehicle's computer. Now, I'm not sure if there's any connection here, but right here it says stored. Now, I believe that, again, when you erase everything, you're going to erase everything that has been stored as well. So, again, this red button here, don't press it until you're actually sure you're ready. So if you look at the upper right corner here, you're going to see some numbers here. This is the code number sequence, and this basically is going to help you keep track of the numbers of DTCs present in the computer's memory. So when you see this number 1 here, basically the number 1 is always going to be the highest priority code. Now if you look down here, this is actually the code enumerator. This basically tells you the total number of codes retrieved from the vehicle's computer. Now, the severity, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about here, the severity, I think is a pretty cool feature to have because it tells you the extent of the emergency of it. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me just kind of zoom in. You can kind of see it. It goes in 3 phases here, low, medium, or high. So, it's still worth checking. You don't want to ignore it. You get something low, you still want to get it checked out, but I'll be more concerned if this was all lit up right here. All right, so that's going to be pretty much it. I just wanted to make this video because I know that, when I first got my device, I was like overwhelmed and trying to figure out what that means. The information that I got is pretty much from the manual. So again, if you have any questions, check out the manual, see what it says, and just basically play with it, see what you can learn. So that's basically going to end the video today. I hope this video you found to be useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. And as always, I'll see you in my next video.